Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome in to the OnlyBets Sports Podcast, Friday edition alongside Stern Bets. Brutal looking on the Prince of Picks. Got a great show lined up for you guys. We're going to be covering the weekend coming up here in sports. We got a lot of sports here taking place. UFC, boxing, WNBA, PGA golf, soccer, Formula One racing, you name it, we got it. As we are entering towards closer and closer here towards the sports equinox. So excited to get into it here. Let me go and bring in Mr. Stern, Mr. Mosh. Good morning, sir. How are we doing on this wonderful Friday here?
We are doing well. We cashed our ticket yesterday. That was nice. Looking forward to another great game. Yankees, Orioles, no run first inning, mostly sweat free. And also, reminder, we will have open hour at least at around 12:15, 12:30. So if you want to come back, give your take, please feel free to come back. We want to hear your opinion. We would like to have a discussion. Just going to get through our hosts' daily picks first. All right, Drew, how do you do yesterday?
Took an L on Kirby. The Brewers just absolutely rocked in first inning and couldn't recover from that. But looking forward to more baseball and UFC today. So yep, I'll take it.
Yeah, we have an incredible lineup this weekend. I gotta say, listen, we start off the baseball slate at 4:00 with Chris Sale facing Jacob Mizorowski. Have you ever had a more exciting one-off game? This is just going to be an incredible game slate. We also get Cam Schlittler, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and Jesus Luzardo among a lot of other teams' top or one of their top pitchers. This is going to be a great lineup coming up tonight. And also, we get UFC tomorrow night. Excited to get into it. Prince, how did you do yesterday before we turn to the MLB slate today?
Yeah, for the show plays, we had an 0 for. We went 0 for 2 on the show plays. But I will tell you guys, we've been making that up and then some on the live plays over on X and on the VIP channel. So I always mention it, guys. Make sure you guys follow me over on X and TikTok at PrincePix10. We do a lot of live plays over there, and we've been pretty successful over the last, I would say, several months, really, in doing live bets. So what we might lose here on the show, we definitely make up for in the live place. So just a little tidbit there. But we'll see if we can end the week here on a positive note with our show plays.
Looking forward. All right. I'm going to call this play Taking the Chalk. And you're going to see very soon why this is called Taking the Chalk. I'm going to take the Braves Brewers first 5 under 3.5. Yeah, this is juiced at -160. But like I said, we got Chris Sale versus Jacob Mizorowski. How can you not pick an under in this game? You have a total of 6.5 projected runs, and you're going to give me 3.5, more than half of that through the first 5 with 2 elite pitchers any day, every day. Chris Sale and Mizorowski light up the underlying metrics board. They are both in the top 5 to 2% of all pitchers across almost every single category. When you're looking at offensive production here, Braves are dead last over the last few weeks to the last few months in offensive production on the road. We've talked about this a few times this week. And the Brewers, sure, they do rank 10th at home, but this is Chris Sale. Chris Sale, over the last 2 months on the road, has a 0.69 FIP to a 1.44 xFIP. That is incredible. I love him to dominate today. I like both teams to struggle early. Give me an early first 5 under. Drew, how do you think about this game? Any thoughts?
No, I like this play a lot. I know it's one of those things where the Brewers have been, hitting up pretty good pitchers, but this is Chris Sale. He's would probably be he'd probably be the favorite in the Cy Young voting if it wasn't for the guy he's facing today. It's kind of like a past versus future right now because they're both pretty tall people in general, kind of lanky. So this is going to be very exciting to watch. You have the veteran versus the young gun. So I'm excited to watch the game. I like your under 3.5. I think that's a great play, and I think it's kind of like the Brewers tax in a way, the Brewers juice. So good way to take advantage of it because I think Sale, regardless of who he faces, he's been doing really well against.
Yeah, this is just this is wild to me that you're getting this much of a buffer in the first 5 innings. I also very much considered the under 1.5 runs for plus 115 on the first 3 innings. I also like under 3.5, under 2.5 in the first 5. Just thought that this might be the best angle. Where are you going today?
Yeah, we're going back to the well. I'm going to go to the Phillies Cardinals game. We have Jesus Luzardo, who has been absolutely, honestly, electric this year. He only, I think, has like a 3.2 ERA, and I mean that's way below, of course, league average. And at the end of the day, he was struggling beginning of the year, and he's done better. He's one of the ace that we know and love, and he's a workhorse. If you know Don Mattingly, he likes to work his starting pitchers. He was famous for that with Sandy Alcantara when he won the Cy Young. And he did that with Aaron Nola the other day, too. And if you look at Jesus Luzardo's last 5 games, he's covered this every single time over 18.5 outs at plus 125. Not to mention, there was one game he pitched. He had one really blowout game where he allowed 6 runs. Besides that, his last 5, I think he's given up 1 or fewer, like has 1 2-run game. But he still pitched 7 innings in that 6-run game. He's playing at home where he usually does excellent and dominates at home. And he's facing a Cardinals team. The Cardinals team have pretty much even splits against the lefties and righties. The Cardinals just came off a series on the road against the Reds where I know they had a doubleheader, but pretty much 3 out of 4, 3 out of 5, whatever you want to do with the doubleheader, were able to at least get 6 or more innings against them. The Cardinals offense has kind of cooled off, especially on the road. They usually do way better at home. So I really like the Phillies to ride. I really like the Phillies to ride their ace here. I think it's also very important too as well for him to go deep. Even though they do, like I said before, even though they do have like their bullpen relatively fresh, this is not one of those where they can really rest their stars because they're still competing for that wild card spot, especially with the Braves running away with that division. So I expect Luzardo to go over 18.5 outs here.
Yeah, I like this look a lot. He's facing Hunter Dobbins on the mound, who, to be fair, could maybe do well, but I think the chances that Jesus Luzardo does better than him is extremely high. And to your point, or I guess a caveat to your point, earlier in the season, he actually struggled immensely at home, but over his last 4 starts at home, he has given up, I believe, 1 or less run in each of those games. So he is definitely coming back to his historical numbers where he is actually very, very dominant at home. Just wanted to point that caveat out. But I personally, by the way, just give you my take on that game. Even though it's also minus 160, I took the Phillies first 5 money line, parlayed with their full game money line. I got burned by the Phillies bullpen, but their offense is extremely hot right now and is able to produce. So I think that they're going to be able to pull out a win because at the end of the day, that's all they care about. They don't care about winning by multiple runs. They care about winning by 1 run.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And one more thing I'll say, especially with Luzardo, I remember I was watching the beginning of the year. There was rumors that he was actually there was a case where they saw that the pitching staff coaches saw that he was tipping pitches when people were on base, and I even watched the announcers were talking about it. Like nobody could touch his sweeper, which he has the nastiest sweeper I think in the league, and it's insane. And but then all of a sudden, when people got on base, he was doing some tell thing in the stretch, and then they fixed that, and that's when he started dominating again.
Yeah, since coming out of the All-Star game, he had 1 really poor outing on the road in Miami. Other than that, 1 run allowed over 5 innings, 1 run allowed against the Yankees when they still had everybody over 7 innings, 0 runs over 8 innings, 2 over 7, and then 1 over 6.2. I mean, he has been absolutely lights out for the most part, and I very much like him today at home. Any other games that we want to talk about here? Obviously, I have a slew of picks. I do want to apologize to the people who have my premium articles. I did find a bug in my model. I fixed it. It wasn't pulling in stats correctly for the first 3 innings over the last 2 weeks, month, and last 3 months. So I was able to sort out that bug. Hopefully the picks will be a lot more solid going forward. I don't know what happened. This is what happens when you let AI into your stuff. Just going to say, but overall, we still having a great record this year, and I'm looking forward to kind of keeping that going. Drew, any other thoughts on any other games today? We do have the Blue Jays Yankees. I thought that no run first inning probably looks very, very appetizing. Any other games that you want to talk about before we move on to, I'm assuming the W, but I'm unsure if Prince has a pick there.
Yeah, definitely. I would say there's a couple games, but there was one game I was going to point towards too. I think the Pirates Dodgers going to be interesting with Yamamoto and Bubba Chandler. But the game I think is going to be great, not just because it's my team. I don't usually like watching my team's game, except when this guy's on the mound. We have Logan Webb versus Sonny Gray. Logan Webb has been really dang good recently. His ERA of 3.5 doesn't depict how good he is because they let him go deep into games instead of using the bullpen, which can cause the pitcher to possibly give up more runs later in the game, but he's willing to go deeper. So if you have a pitcher that goes 5 innings and they take him out to protect him versus the pitcher goes 7 innings, but you keep him in, then he's more susceptible to runs. But at the same day, Logan Webb is that workhorse. If you look at his last 4 games in general, he usually has one blow up game. Besides that, he's just been nothing but a walking 6 innings for his whole career. And then you have Sonny Gray, who's turned back the clock in general, and he's been great. And I think that'll be a great pitching matchup in Fenway.
You know what? I agree with you. And funny enough, I'm going to now somehow give out 3 or 4 of my most juiced plays from my premium article here, but I like the Giants Red Sox first 3 under 2.5 for -125. I think that's a phenomenal look against these two pitchers who are really in a good groove. I think I like that a lot. My model told me no run first inning, but I want to give a little bit of a little bit of room to breathe, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and as hot as the Red Sox have been, they rely a lot on the extra base hits and home runs. And Logan Webb is has one of the best ground ball rates in the league, and is one of the stingiest home run. Actually, he's on pace to be like top 10, I think, all time in home runs per nine. So that's a good equalizer on that front. And Sonny Gray just gets contact and soft contact, so that's a lot more recipe for soft outs.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good stat. I like that. I like that a lot. Also, Red Sox right field porch, a little bit short there over the pole. Very interesting dynamics. But like you said, ground ball rate's good, and he is very good at preventing it. I wonder if any of that has to do with pitching in Giants Stadium, Comerica Park, if I'm not mistaken, or am I getting that confused with another ballpark?
Oh, Oracle.
Or
The Giants have changed their stadium name like 4 times.
Was it? Anyway, he is pitching in one of the worst home run hitting environments in all of baseball. That field is massive, and the wind never is helpful. Well, not never, but generally not helpful. So that probably also helps with that home run per 9 innings stat. All right, Prince, are you back with us? And do you have any thoughts or questions on the MLB slate today?
Yeah, I'm here. No, nothing for me today in baseball.
All right, sounds good. Also, we have Brock. Sorry if I keep shouting you out. I will stop. Just let me know in our messages. But if you have any questions or takes on today's slate on any sport, please feel free to bring you up. I do respect your opinion. You are an excellent capper. Also, a DFS professional who we have to start working together. I am so freaking busy right now, but in a few weeks or months, hopefully that will die down. And I'll have opportunity to actually dive into DFS once again. NFL is coming up, and DFS and NFL is just like one of the most fun things that you can do. All right, Prince, I'm going to hand it to you. I don't think you have any WNBA plays, but do you want to speak about maybe a little bit what's going off tonight?
Yeah, I don't have anything official here. I did post a play over in the VIP channel for the W tonight. Nothing in terms of the show. The one game I am looking at is the Valkyrie and the Chicago Sky. I do expect somewhat of a bounce back for the Valkyrie, and maybe a regression from the Sky coming off their big win against the Liberty. I don't think the Sky are quite as good. I think one of their players, I can't remember her name, Natasha Collier, I want to say. I could be wrong. I get their names mixed up sometimes, but somebody on the Chicago Sky had a huge game, 35 points. She averages maybe around like 12 or 13 a game. So I expect massive regression from her against the Valkyrie team. That's pretty stout defensively, one of the best defensive teams in the W. So I think the Valkyrie are in for a nice bounce back tonight. So that's one game I'm looking at. Other than that, I'm probably going to skip the other games in the W for tonight.
I think you're thinking about Nafisia, right? I think that's her name.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. That's her name. Yeah, thanks. I knew it was something with an N. But yeah, that's the one. So yeah, I'm expecting a nice little, like I said, bounce back for the Valkyrie.
Well, if you're reading between the lines, Valkyrie on the spread or money line, depending on the juice, might be the right play today. Definitely going to take advantage of that FanDuel boost. I think it's like 30% on any given bet in the W. So just want to put that out there. Also, check Caesars because I think you have a nice arbitrage situation on the -6.5 on the Valkyries play. Just going to say it. Anyway, all right. Give us a soccer looks for today. I am excited. We have EPL, right? EPL's coming back tomorrow.
Yes, EPL. No, today. Kicking off today. Yep.
Why am I
EPL
not looking
is
at my notes?
yeah, no, I think that's like the third time I've told you, Roger. It's all right. I'll keep telling you. I don't have a problem keep reminding you. I'm excited. I'm super excited to get back into EPL here. Yeah, 3 p.m. Eastern kickoff this afternoon. Defending champions Arsenal are going to be hosting newly promoted Coventry City. I am all over Arsenal in this one. We're looking at Arsenal. A great home record, a great record in season openers, and a great record against newly promoted teams. So I think everything is lining up here for somewhat of a beatdown in favor of Arsenal here. I'm going to take them on a -2 Asian spread. You get that around -115. I could definitely see this getting out of hand here, maybe 3-0, 4-0. Something along those lines. I would struggle to see Coventry score a goal in this one. Arsenal, of course, they hang their head on the defensive side, one of the best defensive teams in all of Europe. So with Mikel Arteta here, managing the team again, likely to compete again for back-to-back titles. I think they start this campaign off with a resounding win against newly promoted Coventry here. So give me Arsenal. We'll take a -2 in case you guys aren't sure how that works. For us to win this bet, they have to win by 3 or more. So if they just win the game, we will lose the bet. If they win by 2, we get our money back. If they win by 3 or more, we'll win the bet. So again, I like all the stats here, all the trends, heavily in favor of Arsenal. I think they start off again with a resounding win. So once again, Arsenal -2 and -115. I do have plays for tomorrow, but I'll get your thoughts on that one first, sir, before I move on.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I just wanted to ask because yes, Arsenal was absolutely by far the most dominant defensive metric team last year, right? It wasn't even close. And they went really far in Champions League because of it. But towards the end of Champions League, and to be fair, they were facing the top of Champions League, so the best teams in all of Europe. But we started to see them kind of break down. Do we expect, I mean, I guess you are expecting a complete bounce back against just an average opponent, below average opponent, right?
Yeah, below average in terms of Premier League, right? I mean, this is a team that hasn't been in the Premier League in 25 years. So this is their first trip back in a quarter of a century. Yeah, I mean, a game like this, Arsenal should be perfectly fine, comfortable. I mean, they did have the summer break, of course. A lot of the players played in the World Cup, but there's been about a month since then. So these players should be rested. What happened last year should be done and dusted. I mean, we're starting a new season here. These guys should be fresh. We'll revisit this later on in the season. We'll see if these guys break down. They did kind of retool their team a little bit, added some a couple fresh players that might help them out throughout the duration of the season. So yeah, I mean this team absolutely should be right there in contention for the top of the table with your Liverpool's, your Manchester City, Chelsea, the dark horse as well. Probably those are your top 4 that you're looking at. But Arsenal absolutely should be right there. In the EPL and as well as the Champions League, they should have a good chance to win a couple trophies this season. So I don't think tonight against Coventry, I don't think that's going to be a problem for them at all.
Okay, sounds good. I also I'm going to bring back up this game after you're finished your soccer takes because we do have a tiebreaker promo on DK. So if the game ends in a tie, you get your money back. Just wanted to hear your thoughts on maybe a good candidate for that promo. But give us the rest of your soccer picks first.
Yeah, sure. We can bounce back around that. I'll definitely give my thoughts on the promo. But yeah, moving on here, we do have another match in the EPL I'm looking at tomorrow. We have a 5-game slate tomorrow. But one game that I'm going to cover here on the show. So we're looking at Ipswich Town taking on Sunderland. Ipswich, another team newly promoted from the championship division. Sunderland coming off of somewhat of a miracle season. Nobody really expected them to even, a lot of people expected them to battle for relegation. Not only did they stay up, but they're actually in European competitions this coming season. So Sunderland's going to have a congested schedule, something that they're not used to, with having to juggle between EPL and European competition. And I think in this one here, you're looking at Ipswich. This is a team that scores and concedes pretty regularly. Ipswich, of course, we talked about this yesterday. One of the top spenders in all of Europe. They spent over $100 million on their payroll, which puts them ahead of teams like Manchester United and Liverpool in terms of just how much money they've spent in the offseason. So Ipswich is all in on this season. I do think they're going to put up a fight. Of course, we bet their futures over 33.5 points yesterday. But looking at this game in particular, I like both teams to score. I think we see goals in this one. Sunderland, again, another team that likes to score and concede as well, specifically on the road. So I think both teams to score is probably your safest bet here between Ipswich and Sunderland. And you're going to get that at a very playable price at minus 125. So again, Sunderland, Ipswich, both teams to score. Minus 125. Stern, I have one more play in the ASEAN Cup. I know you can't bet that. So before I get to that, any thoughts on this play before I get to my final one?
Yeah, I'm finally happy that my model starts to have projections for some of the major leagues here so that I do have something to add to your plays. Love the both teams to score here. I have it build each team basically scoring 1.22, 1.3 total over 2.5. Love it all. It really should be a more evenly matched game, but both teams are loose and should be able to give up a goal.
Yeah, it could be one of the more entertaining games for the neutral. I think likely to see over. I mean, if you want to get risky and play like an over 3.5, I wouldn't hate it, but it is risky. But nothing on that. That's not something I'm going to give officially, but just something I don't hate. All right, then looking at the ASEAN Cup, we are finally in the final of the ASEAN Cup. Once again, it is Thailand taking on Vietnam. This seems to be the matchup every single time this tournament takes place. It's always Thailand and Vietnam at the end here. These two teams are basically carbon copies of each other. There's nothing to separate them. So the way that I'm going to attack this is I'm just going to play the team that has more value. Give me Thailand on a draw no bet at plus money. You get them at plus 120. Vietnam currently sitting around minus 125, I think, on the draw no bet. Again, in my opinion, not much in between the two teams. So I'll take Thailand at plus money. And game ends in a draw, goes to a penalty shootout. We'll get our money back. But if Thailand wins in regulation, of course, we'll win the bet. So I think there's value on that. Again, not much between these two teams. Pretty much the same in every aspect. So I'll take Thailand in the ASEAN Cup final. Draw no bet at plus money. We'll get it at plus 120.
You know, I realized that this was ASEAN Cup when I couldn't find it over 3 sports books. Oh, man. Come on, books. Do better.
Yeah, they really do need to do better. These little obscure tournaments, these books need to come around and get on them because they're a lot to bet on and get some advantageous spots. And by the way, I do have an EPL future. I didn't put it in the recap, but we'll go ahead and give one final EPL futures here that I'm going to land on. It's going to be in the goal scorer market. Look, you can't go wrong with Erling Haaland, right? Erling Haaland to be the league's top goal scorer. You get it. It's minus 135. That's, very rare to get a top goal scorer at minus money, but it just shows how much better he is than the next favorite, which is Alexander Isak at plus 1,100. You're talking about a minus 130, and your second best favorite is plus 1,100. This is Haaland's title award to lose. I do think Manchester City going to be great offensive again, even without Pep Guardiola. I don't think they're going to take a dip at all. And Haaland is just that much better. He is far and away, and it's not even close, far and away the best striker in the EPL. So as long as he stays healthy and is able to stay out there on the field, just by volume alone, he is going to pump in a lot of goals again. Top 3 striker in the world, I'd say, with him, Harry Kane, and Mbappe. So absolutely love this play. It is a little bit more juice than what you normally see, but I think it's obviously a hammer spot for him. So Erling Haaland to lead the EPL in goals scored, and that comes in at minus 130.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, we've seen this man just absolutely dominate. I mean, he is a one-dimensional player, but that one dimension is better than all the rest. He is just unbelievable. Do you remember that drop shot that he kicked into a goal? I think it was World Cup, maybe the round 3 or 4. He popped it right through the defender's legs. It was just
And
unbelievable control and power.
honestly, there's so many highlights of his. I get him all mixed up, but he's just a machine. Honestly, he's a goal scoring machine, and anything around the box, he'll finish. And he's just so much better than like I said, every other striker in the EPL. So I mean, it's a no brainer for me.
Can I ask you a question about Man City? I just want to know what your take is and their outlook for this year. I'm personally a fan of theirs, and maybe that's a fair weather fan. That's true, because I started getting interested in the EPL as Man City was absolutely dominating. But I grew to follow a few of those players, and it seems like they've fallen off a cliff. Can we expect a bounce back this season, or is those midfield kind of concerns going to continue?
Yeah, I think Man City would be okay. I like I said, I think they'll still be top four, maybe top five in the EPL. Now they did go through some roster reconstruction just a little bit. And of course they're likely to lose Rodri. I'm not sure if that's gotten official yet or not. Rodri heavily linked to Barcelona. He was linked to Real Madrid, and now he's linked to Barcelona. So if they lose Rodri, that's going to be a big loss for them. He's absolutely one of the best center midfielders, not just in the EPL but in the entire world. So they'll definitely lose a lot without him in the lineup. But overall, I think this team still has enough quality to be highly competitive in the EPL. Champions League might be a different story for them, but in the EPL, I do think they'll still be able to be a top four, top five team. I don't think there's going to be quite as much a regression as maybe some people think without Pep Guardiola there. Enzo Maresca, he's a good coach. He's a quality coach. He's been around and coached great teams as well. So I don't think there's going to be a significant drop off. There might be a slight drop off, but not significant enough to where they're not going to plummet like Tottenham did. I'll put it that way. So, yeah, I think they'll be okay for the time being until Holland demands to be released. Which there's some speculation he might want to leave in the summer. So we might have to revisit this in the summer. And if they lose him and lose some other pieces, then maybe it's more of a conversation. But right now, as long as Holland's there, and majority of the spine is still there, I think they'll be all right.
All right, sounds good. Also, by the way, you're comparing a team to Tottenham last season. That's not fair. I don't think anybody is going to have that big of a fall.
I agree.
That was
I agree.
just outstanding, shocking.
Those are remarkable.
Game. It was wild to watch. It was similar to the Wolves winning.
Yes, 100%. Absolutely. Yep. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Just as shocking.
Yeah. No, it's that's you don't see that ever. I mean, they were literally like a point away from being relegated. With their $1 billion stadium playing in the second division of England, it would have been a sight to see. Yeah, you don't see that ever. You never see that. So, but yeah, good point. But yeah, getting back around to the DK promo, I'll go ahead and touch on that here real quick. There is a DK promo out there for basically what you get. You get a draw bet at the price of a money line is more or less what it is, because it's a drawbreaker promo. So if they draw, you get your money back. So that's the way I look at it. It's a draw bet at the price of a money line. So in my opinion, if you're looking, there's two ways you can look at it, right? You can look at low risk or high risk. If you want low risk, again, I'm all over Arsenal today. Max bet is 20. It might be different for each person. For me, the max bet is $25. So you're literally only going to win about $5 on it if you put it on Arsenal. But it's almost free money. I can't see any way possible that Arsenal drops points against Coventry. So that would be your low risk. But if you're looking for a high risk play where you get a little bit more of a payout, what I would be looking at is Leeds United. They're taking on Nottingham Forest. I think Leeds might be in for an upset win here against Nottingham Forest. I like what they did in the offseason. I think they could maybe get the win outright here. You're getting them at plus 210, I think, right now on DraftKings. So that would be my high risk play if you wanted to play this promo. But again, my low risk play would be Arsenal on the money line. High risk would be Leeds United on the money line.
Yeah, I'm just going to take Arsenal. I like them. I think the data lines up. Yeah, you're getting minus 400 or something on it. But you know what? If you have $100 on that promo, free $24 ain't bad.
Yeah, like I said, check and see what your cap is. Unfortunately for me, my cap is only 25, so I only win $5. But yeah, if by chance you don't have a cap, I would say hammer it pretty hard.
Yeah, the books have been starting to limit my promos. They used to be 250. It used to be even more. It used to be 500. then it was 250, now it's 100, and that's really because I've shortened my unit size to try to get some better angles on the arbitrage game and bring up my whole game overall. All right, anything left in the EPL or soccer today before we get to the UFC, which I am super excited about?
No, nothing else really. Of course, we've got massive slates tomorrow all over Europe and in the MLS. We've got a full MLS slate. We've got La Liga. We've got Serie A in Italy. We've got French League One. We've got the English Premier League, all the National League, the lower leagues in England. We've talked about it before: National League North, National League South. So tons and tons and tons of action here over the next couple of days in soccer. We're gonna have a pretty big card over on the VIP channel. So I'm excited to get into it and excited to see what happens from all that.
All right. Yes, sir. Let's get into the UFC. Drew, gonna bring you in here. I've given out 2 plays on the show so far, yesterday and the day before, one each. I'm gonna give out one today as well. I did release my article 2 days ago, yesterday. I think it was yesterday, mid-morning. Definitely go check that out. We're on back-to-back 8 and 5 nights. So hopefully we can continue that winning streak to this Saturday night. But Drew, where are you going for your UFC picks?
Yeah, definitely. I have actually 3 this time around. My first one, it's kind of what we talked about yesterday, Petrino versus Spivak. I fight not to go to the distance at minus 160. I found that at Fanatics. I know it's pretty high juice odds, but I think it's just overall great value in general, especially for these 2 heavyweights fighting. If you just look at overall if you look at their last fights right here, I had notes written down. Spivak had 7 of his last 9 fights and inside the distance. Petrino 6 out of his last 8. Spivak is a pretty good grappler, averaging 3.82 takedowns per 15 minutes. But Petrino has excellent takedown defense at 79%. So I think this fight, could be won on the feet. I just think overall between these heavyweights, someone's going to get knocked out or possibly submitted. So I just like the fight not to go the distance. And the fact that we're getting a heavyweight fight to not go the distance below minus 200 in general, because usually, of course, Stern, you see these kind of fights for heavyweights. They're usually at minus 200 or higher. So I'll take this.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I took the under 2.5 rounds. My original pick was the fight to not go to the distance, but you're really just risking 2.5 minutes at the end of the fight when most of the power from these heavyweights are gone. So hopefully we don't get a late submission. But getting the under 2.5 rounds at minus 115 offered, I believe, superior value. But I'm on the exact same angle as you. I do lean Petrino here. I took him in DFS in both my lineups this weekend. So I'm rooting for Petrino to get an early knockout or submission. I have a feeling he's going to get the knockout. But Spivak, not a name to sneeze at. No real pun intended. I just think that Petrino has a much better kickboxing base, and if he's able to keep this at a distance, I think that you will be able to pick Sergey apart. What's your next play, sir?
My next one is another kind of like over-under kind of play, because I don't have any money lines, but I've done rounds. De Ritter versus Dolidzic. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. I'm probably completely butchering it, so I apologize. Dolidzic has, I'm going to say Roman. That's a good one. I'm going to say Roman, his first name. Roman has seen 6 of his last 7 fights go over 2.5 rounds, and De Ritter has seen his last 3 fights last 3 fights go over 2.5 rounds. I just think overall, neither of these fighters have superior striking ability in general to where I worry about someone possibly getting knocked out. I think this might be kind of like a dancing fight in general. If you just look at both these fights and also both these fighters have very tough chins and they absorb a lot. And I just think overall, when you look at these, you look at the history of these fighters, they generally extend fights to the fullest extreme. And these usually go the distance. So that's why I like this to go over 2.5 rounds. And I think you can get over 2.5 rounds at minus 135 on the score.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. And if you wanted to hedge, I would take De Ritter, or actually anybody, but really De Ritter by submission. If he doesn't get the submission, which I don't think he does, by the way, I think that we see the over definitely in play. I also like the value on Roman Dolid's money line plus 325. I thought that offered really nice value, and it goes hand in hand with the over in the game, because if he's able to keep this on the feet, his power and the fact that he's moving back to light heavyweight should make him a little bit more durable than the last two fights that he has been in. He is looking for a little bit of an easier win, and the market is down on him simply because of those two last losses. All right, what's your third play, sir?
Yeah, third and final play is the main card. It's going to be, of course, trying to get there, Hernandez versus Rodriguez. That's who it is. Hernandez versus Rodriguez. Hernandez has seen 7 of his last 8 fights reach round 3, and Rodriguez has seen 4 of his last 6 reach round 3. Hernandez is also an amazing grappler, 5.88 takedowns per 15 minutes, but also Rodriguez's takedown defense has been excellent. I just think overall, when you look at these fighters, to get this kind of value, and I found it on DK, by the way, on Fanatics, it's minus 190, but on DK, it's minus 150. Others, I couldn't find it even close to that value because I found over 2.5 rounds for some of them, like minus 120. But to be able to get this at minus 150, I think it's a faulty line from DK that will eventually adjust. And I think Hernandez's style overall can help this prop. His wrestling and pressure can slow down the fight rather than like creating immediate firefight. And all we need to do is just for it to reach the third round. And also, Rodriguez is very durable. He's experienced UFC fighter with 25 professional fights, not including UFC. So I like this to go to at least round 3.
Yes, and this goes hand in hand with my official play of the day. It's going to be Anthony Hernandez money line at minus 180. Again, the price is not great, but I think the public is undervaluing him, and his best path to victory is getting through the first 2 rounds from RoboCop. If he's able to get past the first 2 rounds, he should be able to switch it up enough and create opportunities where Rodriguez is really just going to be struggling to keep this fight on the feet where he wants it to be able to win on, there. I personally do like the over. I took it as a part of a parlay piece. I took the Hernandez Rodriguez over 1.5 rounds parlayed with Barbosa and Dyer money lines, who are both heavy favorites on the card with extreme power. It's going to be hard to beat them. Didn't take those specific plays by himself because the juice is like minus 600 to 700 each one. But I definitely like Hernandez to keep this fight over in the round. So I think the fight to get to the third round is an excellent look, especially if you can play it by itself. But I do like Hernandez overall in this fight to come out on top. This man is just, he was the favorite in his last few fights. Yeah, sure. Did he lose? Yeah, but he should be able to use his superior cardio as the rounds get later. We've seen RoboCop start to fade in the later rounds, and if he doesn't do enough in the first few rounds, then this could be just over by decision. I really do like Hernandez in this spot.
Yeah, and something I'll add, by the way, is just for the audience. Some people are just like newer to UFC. Fight to start round 3. I know when I started UFC a while ago, like multiple years ago, fight to start round 3 just means if the round 3 starts, so like round 2 ends and they start round 3, right when they ring the bell for round 3 to start, you win the bet. Over 2.5 rounds means at the 2:30 mark of that round, and fight to go the distance means the fight has to finish. I just want to clarify to the people.
Yeah, excellent. And that's a great point because it does get confusing, and sometimes you have to flip between the tabs in the different sports books from round props. Usually you will be able to scroll to the right and find to start round X, and then you go down and you pick the round that you want the round to start. Yeah, very good looks there. Anything else on the UFC card or any questions? I don't know if you read my article, but it seems like you did, just because we're on very much the same side of things this week, which I don't think is usual. I mean, it always happens, especially when you have cards this big and different cappers with different methodologies. But any other fights that you want to talk about or get an opinion or kind of just discuss?
No, but I do have a funny story with the fight round, because one time my buddy asked me, I don't blame him. He asked me one time, I think it was about a year ago. He was like, "Hey man, does fight to start round like 2? I don't want to sound silly. Does it mean like the fight starts to get good at round 2 and it was boring round 1, I was like, no, and I had to explain it to him. I was like, that's interesting. That's a good point, though.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Addison, we're going to bring you in just a second. If you're ready, just take yourself off mute. We would love to hear updates on F1. And is it true you may have an NFL future for us?
Oh,
we
hey, yes.
can't. Oh, there you are.
Hey, check. Sorry. Had to run
It's
back
the
here to
one
my
time that
computer.
you didn't do the check 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so unfortunately, our winning car without Racing Bulls plus 130 bet failed to win today. I kind of knew it wasn't looking good whenever Yuki Tsunoda stepped in. He didn't even make it out of Q2, so it was Lindblad trying to hold it down for us, but he just didn't have enough to hold off Audi and Alpine, who both topped him. Looking forward to tomorrow's sprint race and the following practice and qualifying, and then race on Sunday. I don't have any added plays, but if I do, I will definitely put them where I usually tag you guys, and then I'll send them on Twitter as well. And then you guys can give them out if you want. But right now, we're just riding those Cadillacs to not be classified at plus 225. That price has dropped significantly. I think the best I saw today was maybe plus 175 at some places. If you haven't hopped on that yet, I would still play it at plus 175. So hopefully we get one of those, and it will make up for the winner without Racing Bulls bet that we lost today. And hey, if we hit both, that's going to be looking really good for the official plays sheet. Do you guys have any questions about F1?
No, but I am definitely interested. I'm going to turn it on in just a few minutes as soon as we end our show, because I have my kid today with me at home, and he is obsessed with racing. Thank you, Addison, for getting that on my TV at home.
Dude, that's so cool. Yeah, and this is actually a really cool track. I really do hate to see it go. It's one of the only remaining tracks that has some banked corners, sort of like a throwback to the old school tracks. It's right on the ocean there in Zandvoort. The helicopter shots are just beautiful, and it should be just a really exciting weekend. So, whether you're betting it or not, I highly suggest just checking it out, putting it on the TV, see what you think, and enjoy. Now, I am going to dabble in some NFL futures. I did find an interesting line last night. Jacoby Brissett for the Arizona Cardinals. I don't think anybody really knows what the Cardinals quarterback situation is going to be like. I personally am a fan of Jacoby Brissett, former Colt. He held it down for us for a while when Andrew Luck stepped away, and I like him as a guy and as a player. So I'm going to bet at Caesars for him to have over 11.5 passing touchdowns at plus 100. That's over 11.5 regular season passing touchdowns at plus 100. Similar numbers at other books. Let's see. DK has, let me pull this up here real quick. 20 plus. Sorry, this is bad radio.
It's okay. I'm going to fill in just while you find it. I do like that.
I got it. Sorry.
Oh, go on. All right.
Yeah, sorry. Jacoby, see, this is why I don't do NFL. Jacoby Brissett to do 20 plus regular season passing touchdowns at DraftKings is plus 105. And then at 365, that line is 18.5 and juiced, pretty much standard juice on either side, minus 115, minus 105. So obviously I think these books are just guessing, but you give me a guy who came in, with injury to Kyler Murray last year, and I think really balled out, especially tons of garbage time. And I think he, if he plays this year and they stink like they think, why risk Carson Beck? Just keep Jacoby out there. And I think that he could hit this by week 6 or 7 with garbage time. So, hey, maybe I'm wrong and don't know anything about football, but I thought I'd throw it out there real quick. Jacoby Brissett over 11.5 regular season touchdown passes, plus 100 at Caesars.
Yep, don't mind that at all, especially if he's able to hold on to that starting job. I want to get this play in right now because I had it on my phone. I was tracking it. Scotty Scheffler in the BMW Championship. I'm just going to say he bogeyed his first hole, but this is Scotty Scheffler. You can get the top 20 market, including ties, at minus 120. That's going to be a full unit play on my end. I do like him to bounce back despite the struggles that we saw yesterday. Just want to get this in because it is a live play. And you need to get this in if you want to play it. Obviously, no pressure. I also laddered the top 10, and for him to still win, I think that the conditions on this course are rough enough where I think if he gets on a roll like we saw last week, he could easily come towards the top of the table. Just wanted to put that out there. But while the play is still there, yeah.
Sure. What book did you use?
DK.
Okay.
But yeah, if you have Pickett, you can go to the BMW Championship, go to top X finish. You can scroll over to the top 20, including ties market, and you will be able to see what the best price available really is. But I am going to put that on our recap screen because I cannot believe that you're getting any kind of playable line on Scotty Scheffler in the top 20 market. He is currently sitting around 48, 47 on the field, which is obviously bottom out of a 50-person field. But I mean, this is Scotty Scheffler. He could turn it on at any time. Should have looked at the underlying metrics before giving out that play, but I still stand behind it, and I'm going to put it on our recap screen anyway. Sorry, Addison, just wanted to get that in. Any final thoughts on the NFL or F1 or baseball or anything else that you want to get to today?
I actually had a take on his play that he made.
Oh, go for it, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Addison, I've someone who has a wife who's a Cardinals fan. I think Jacoby Brissett is extremely underrated. The problem I run into is I just don't trust the Cardinals organization in general to I like their new coach, right? I think LaFleur is going to be a great new coach, but their ownership is terrible, and sometimes they pressure the coach to do certain things. And I'm afraid with how top-heavy their schedule is. For example, like the first 3 games are Chargers, Seahawks, Niners. They do have the Giants, who I think are going to have a really good defense, and then Lions, Rams, Broncos, and then Cowboys, Seahawks, Rams, Chiefs. So you just need to hope that he is going to give pass touchdowns. And I think they should personally start him, have Beck learn under him, and they're not going to be in contention, especially with that top-heavy of a schedule, and they should only play him if they do the last 3 or 4 games, just so he can learn under him. Like we've seen other people learn under others. Like they don't really have any hope this year. I hate to say it. So I like your play. It's just I worry that the ownership and LaFleur may not have control if he struggles in the beginning against those juggernaut of teams.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate that take and insight. Totally legit. And like I said, this is just sort of I'm sort of winging it here. Hoping that he can get some garbage time touchdowns. Because I think McBride's going to be hungry for some balls. Who was it? Wilson, who came alive last year. And then, of course, they still got Harrison Jr. And who knows if Jeremiah Love, what he's going to be able to do out of the backfield. But, hopefully for some garbage time stuff.
I think you're hoping for Jeremiah Love to not be successful on the ground, and they're forced to throw it in the air just like they were last year. I have a feeling their defense is not going to be able to hold up, and you are going to see some of those garbage time touchdowns, just like we saw last year. I mean, he was a lock for over 1.5 throw touchdowns almost every single week last week. It was last year. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely, and hopefully that continues this year, and hopefully, the organization doesn't screw us. It's just so funny to see such a wide range of numbers there for his touchdowns. So I figured, hey, why not?
100%. All right, let's go around the horn, finish up what we got to say. If anybody wants to come on and ask a question, feel free right now. Is the time. Prince, go for it.
Real quick. Yeah, sure. So I think you might be having difficulty seeing our hands up. I had my hand up for a little bit. I don't think you're able to see it. So, but yeah, I just want to comment on this Arizona Cardinals. First of all, of course, I am a Cardinals fan. I've mentioned that before. As much of a Bears fan as I am, my Cardinals have a second place in my heart. I did go ahead and play that play. I think there's a ton of value on that play, Edison. So great look there. Jacoby Brissett is a super underrated quarterback. I think he can air it out with the best of them. And kind of like most just hinted at, this defense is going to be awful. So they're likely going to be in a position to throw the ball a lot. Two things I would look at here. One, Jeremiah Love did get an injury in the preseason. I think he will be okay for the regular season starter, from what I heard, but it's something to monitor. If he's not in there, I think that's going to support Jacoby Brissett in terms of his passing yards even more, right? The ability and the necessity to pass. And the other thing I would worry about is how long does he stay in there as a placeholder? You guys just went through the schedule. You could very well see the Cardinals starting 0-11. I can see them losing all 11 of their first games. The only caveat, maybe they beat the Giants. But you're looking at the rest of that schedule. That is an absolute juggernaut of a schedule, exactly as Drew said. So, is the pressure going to be put on, right? If they lose 6 in a row, 7 in a row, they're going to say, all right, you know what, Jacoby, your time's done. We're putting in, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Help me out here, Drew. What's the quarterback's name?
Carson Beck.
Thank you, Carson Beck. Thank you. Yeah. I'm like Cam Ward. No, not Cam. What is it? I'm like Carson Beck. Do they put him in, right? So I think it's a matter of obviously playing against the clock in terms of how many opportunities Jacoby gets. But as long as I think Edison, you're spot on. A lot of he gets like 7 or 8 games. I think he clear this definitely within that time frame. So just want to get my thought on it as a Cardinals fan myself. I like to play a lot. I think there's tons of value in it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't play 20 plus. I definitely wouldn't play over 18 and a half.
Yeah, 100%. No, I think that's a perfect number. 11 and a half is a perfect number. Yeah, I'm right with you. I wouldn't play anything other than that. But yeah, at 11 and a half at plus money, yeah, that's hard to pass up.
I wanted to get to actually a point that we had talked about maybe last week. We were having a conversation about who would you rather draft, Brock Bowers or Trey McBride? And I went Brock Bowers, hands down, not even close for me. And a part of that conversation is how much do we expect? Wow, just went out of my brain. Brissett to actually start. If he finishes the year, Trey McBride is an absolute lock as one of the best draft picks of the season. But if Carson Beck comes in, is that efficiency going to continue?
I would say yes, Mosh. You know why? Because what do they say? A tight end is a rookie quarterback's best friend, right? Isn't that a phrase, right?
100%. But we're not talking about short and out routes. That's not who Trey McBride is. Trey McBride is getting 10 plus yards and then dominating, getting open, and then getting runs after the catch. I don't know. Brissett is incredibly efficient at getting the ball to him down the field. Incredibly. I don't know if Carson Beck would have the same outlook. Not saying that he's not going to get the same amount of catches. I just don't think he's going to get the same amount of yards.
I think you could be onto something there, but I think one thing is certain. I think the volume will still be there, right? Because I think the Cardinals are going to be forced to basically be in shootout situation every game. Their defense is not going to be able to slow down anyone. So I think with the volume still being there, I mean that's good enough for me to. I would still take Trey McBride. I'm the one that posed that question. I would still back Trey McBride over Brock Bowers. I mean you're splitting apples, right? It's 1A and 1B, but. Yeah, I mean, I hear your point, though. You do make a valid point about that. But again, my bounce back would be that the volume will still be there regardless of if it's Brissett or not. Why do I keep forgetting his name? Carson Beck. For some reason, I'm trying to play it all day today.
Yeah, please don't.
I get so many quarterbacks in my head.
You're going to import that memory bug into all of us.
I know, I already infected you with the percent. My bad. But no, I mean, that's all. I just think that the volume that this team's going to be forced to throw the ball. So I think, sleeper fantasy picks might be anybody who's going to catch the ball in the Cardinals because I honestly, I know Jeremiah Love is a top draft pick, but I'm not so sure if he's really going to get the volume just based on game script. I don't think he's going to quite be as impactful as maybe a lot of people think he is. Just my opinion.
Sorry.
I was going to say is I think Trey McBride's won't drop off. Funny you mentioned Brock Bowers. Carson Beck threw to Brock Bowers is like last year and just kept feeding him. He only played like 10 games, Brock Bowers, that year. And Beck loves his tight ends. He loves throwing to his tight ends. So I think the volume will still be there. Something about him, his biggest weakness with Beck is sometimes his hesitance to throw in certain areas, but he is extremely accurate. That was his biggest benefit. So I'm a fan of Beck if he does come in, and I think McBride will get a lot of targets.
Can I? Oh, sorry. We'll let Addison speak, and then I have a proclamation to make here before we wrap things up. But go ahead, Addison. Did you have something else to add to this?
I just want to jump in and add that Scheffler number has now moved to -160 on DK.
Yeah, not shocked there. Thanks, Addison, for checking on that. I've got to say, like, I mean, he's going to hit one good ball, and the entire market's going to be jumping on that top 20 market. I was waiting. I was watching on my phone because I saw that he didn't hit off the tee on the first hole. He hit it really poorly, and I was like, all right, he's going to hit a bogey here, and then we're going to be able to jump on this number.
Yeah, -300 at FanDuel.
Oh my gosh. And FanDuel, by the way, just if you guys haven't heard me talk about it before, of the public sports books, so I'm not including Pinnacle, I'm not including some of the other sharper books out there. Out of the public American sports books, FanDuel is probably the sharpest. So if you see a number on FanDuel that's like -300 and a -150 on other books like DK, MGM, Caesars, jump on that line. Generally, you're getting a good price.
Yeah, heck of a play, dude. And yeah, real quick, a hot take here. Maybe it's a hot take, maybe not. But my prediction of the NFL season: Colston Loveland will be a top 2 fantasy tight end by the end of the season.
What?
Absolutely.
Oh, come on.
Absolutely. 100%. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
This is going to take over the question of the day here.
Okay, great. I love it. Yes, Colston Loveland is going to be a massive part of the Bears offense. I could see him being a receptions monster. He's likely to get the majority of the targets in this offense from Ben Johnson. Caleb Williams and Colston Loveland have been syncing up great in preseason and training camp. Everyone's high on Colston Loveland this season, and I just think game script alone is going to let him be one of the more dominant tight ends physically, athletically. He's got it all. He's got all the tools. He's a great route runner, great hands. He can do it all, and I think you're going to see him kind of how you saw Laporta in Detroit, kind of creep up towards the top echelon of tight ends when Ben Johnson was over there. I think Colston Loveland in his second year, another year under Ben Johnson here. I think Colston Loveland's in for a massive season. My hot take is going to be, by the end of the season, Colston Loveland will be top 2, maybe the first or maybe the second. He's going to be top 2 tight end in the NFL.
Okay, so let's. So first of all, my immediate reaction was what? Now I'm looking at my rankings. I actually have him ranked 3rd, which is way higher than I expected. Like way higher. I want to say with a caveat, which category will he be on top for? Because obviously we have Brock Bowers and Trey McBride. That's 1A, 1B, like you said, right? I have Bowers ranked 18th. I have McBride ranked 20th. And then I have Loveland here ranked 48th in ADP. Now his ceiling is not nearly as high as many other players that I'm looking at here. You have Tyler Warren, you have Tucker Kraft, you have Kyle Pitts, Laporta, you have Kittle, you have Kelsey, who I think people are sleeping on a little bit after a very, very much down year. Yeah, he's getting older, but he is still a prime target if Mahomes is healthy. They have a special connection, which they will find at some point. I see Addison giving me a thumbs down, but I mean, come on, man. Kelsey was the most dominant tight end in the league for so many years, and you're going to tell me that he is going to be the bottom half of tight ends all of a sudden? I don't buy it. I think that he has a bounce back year. But in terms of floor, my model agrees with you. Loveland should have enough volume to be able to project towards the top of the table. Very interesting. Not what I expected, but I don't agree, but I don't disagree, I guess is my point.
So I think your instincts kick in. Your Bears slander, hatred. I think that's what kicked in at first. That's why you were like initially you said a Bears player top 2. Hell no. So instinctively you just you neglected it right away. But look, I'm going to disagree with you 100%. not only does Colson Loveland have the same ceiling as those guys, I think he has a higher ceiling than those guys. All those guys you listed, Colson Loveland is slept on, okay? And I think some of it has to do with a little bit of Caleb Williams slander. Some of it has to do with kind of the Bears' history. I'm telling you guys now, you can laugh and you can, say there's no way, no chance, blah, 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 blah. We'll revisit this, and if I'm wrong, look, I'll eat it, no problem. I'll say, hey, that was a hot take, and it burned to my face. But I really do think in this offense, Colson Loveland, very, very underrated in every aspect of the game, and I think he's in for a monster season. You asked me, what do I think in terms of what? Well, I think fantasy points for one, but maybe even more so, I think receptions. I think he's going to be a receptions monster. I could definitely see him averaging, getting the plethora of targets each game for the Bears. I think he's going to probably lead the league or lead the team anyway in targets and receptions, in my opinion. So yeah, that's my thoughts, and I think he's going to have a monster season. That's not just me as a Bears fan saying that. I legitimately think Colson Loveland has all the tools to be an elite tight end in this league.
All right, one last dig on your Chicago Bears. The big caveat is if Caleb Williams, can actually hit 5 to 10 yards away from him. And second of all,
do you think he can't? Do you honestly think he can't? Do you honestly think he can't make a? You think Caleb Williams, a guy that has been a top recruit his entire life, right? You think all these scouts have got it wrong on him, that he can't make a 5 to 10 yard pass? Come on.
So when he is in the pocket, he seems to really struggle with the timing routes. He really does. When he's on his feet.
Hold on. I'm sorry, Bush. I got to interrupt you. I'm sorry. Guess what? He's had 2 different coaches in his first 2 years. Do you think that has anything to do with it? He played his first year under one of the worst offensive coaches in Matt Eberflus, okay? And then he played his second year as under first time with Ben Johnson. Do you think that played any role into it at all, that his first 2 seasons in the NFL, he's had a different head coach, a different offensive coordinator system?
You know what? First of all, I love how fired up you are. I absolutely love it.
Oh, I'm fired up.
Second of all, I do think that does contribute to a little bit, but I also think that scouts consistently misrank top talent. Not saying he isn't. I'm just saying that they do.
This dude's been a top talent since high school, Moj. We're not talking about like a couple of years. I mean, this guy his whole life. And you look at him, look at the athleticism he has, look at the type of throws he can make, and you're gonna tell me that the only thing he can't do is a 5 to 10 yard throw. Sorry, I can't with that. And I don't think it's a fair slander against him when he's been in the league for just 2 years, and he's had 2 entirely different offensive systems his first 2 years in the league. So I don't think that's a fair criticism to put on him. To say that he can't, has he missed some throws? Sure. What quarterback doesn't? But to say that, I don't think he's going to be able to make 5, 10 yard throws, so I don't think the tight end's going to be good. Like, for me, I can't go there yet. Like, there's not enough proof of concept to say that.
Just to give you a caveat here, I did purposely phrase my question a little bit harsher just to get a better reaction out of you. I don't think that he's going to.
Well, you did. Good job.
Most of it. But it is a
well done.
If that's fine.
Yeah, go for it. Sorry, Drew.
I was thinking I'd say something on the topic real quick. Perfect. Oh, yeah, definitely. I would say for this, I can definitely see Colson, Loveland being like top 2 as his like ceiling. It's just hard for Brock Bowers-McBride, but it's not out of the window. If you just look at Colson Loveland's year last year, I was watching too, Michigan legend right there. But he had like 700 receiving yards, nearly 60 receptions. And the biggest factor that we're not talking about is DJ Moore's not there anymore. And he's going to get more targets because of that. And DJ Moore, in a way, with Caleb Williams, I know, like, I think he's less of a diva than like AJ Brown, but he was a diva. He wanted the ball. And if you watch Caleb Williams in general, his biggest issue is he's better at timing routes, but when the plays break down in the pocket, that's where he generally struggles. He usually moves out of the pocket when the play breaks through in the pocket as efficiently when all the routes are ran. That's his issue. But when he is on time, he can get that done, and especially around the middle of the field. That's why you saw Colson Loveland when he played. He had I think it was 6 touchdowns in general, and they didn't start using him until later because he only started around 11 games, 16 of them, and you saw that 713 yards and only starting 11 games in general because they're giving, I think, majority of the time. And I think we see Colson Loveland more. I can see him getting 900 to 1,000 yards and maybe 7 to 10 touchdowns, especially taking away DJ Moore. So I can see his ceiling too. I think his floor is 3 or 4. I don't think he'll be 1 because I think either McBride or Bowers will be 1. If we're talking about not like disregarding injuries, but I think if you want to factor in injuries because you kind of have to when it comes to Bowers in a way now, I know he's still young, you can, but I think McBride, who has been relatively durable overall, knock on wood, he's the main source of that offense. And while what will hold Loveland back is, Luther Burden and Roman Dunze will get some targets, but Caleb loves throwing them in the field, and that's where his tight end is usually.
All right, I'm going to add one more thing just to upset Prince.
Oh, God. All right.
This is going to be my hot take. I think George Kittle has a better year than Colston Loveland.
Oh, get the hell out of here. No, I can't.
No.
No.
Higher ceiling.
Broken down George Kittle? You talking about broken bones Kittle? No. The guy. Listen. Shout out to. Hold on, Drew. Wait. I'm not done. Shout out to George Kittle. He's had a hell of a career. Instant Hall of Famer, one of the greatest tight ends of all time. No disrespect to George Kittle, but at this point of his career, come on, man. You're going to tell me he's going to have a better season than Colston Loveland in that offense? No chance, man. Colston Loveland's going to have a monster season.
You interrupt the stern. Look, you. Hold on. You interrupt the stern. I'm going to interrupt you. I'm just the same. George Kittle in 11 games had 620 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns. Okay, so he's not broken down. The year before that, he made All-Pro. So he's not broken down.
Okay, let me ask. Okay, fine, fair enough. Let me ask you a question. Then, you think he's gonna have a better season than Colston Loveland? Drew?
I mean, I don't think he'll. I mean, if he stays healthy, yes.
Okay,
but that's not guaranteed.
All right, that's fine.
So, Prince, I will say that I am sort of antagonizing you on purpose, and I knew that by bringing in George Kittle, I would be able to get Drew's support.
Yeah, good job. You're creating a real rivalry here. Nice, well done.
I'm just picking. I'm just messing with you, man.
No, I am too, dude.
I was backing up Loveland, and then he called my tight.
I know. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. Hey, you know what? Hey, Stern did that on purpose, Drew. We were on the same team, and he tried to drive away from you. Sorry, man. You're right. Shout out to George Kittle. I love George Kittle. Yeah, how dare you, Stern? No, you can't keep between me and Drew. We're on the same team. Get out of here. I'm right with you, Drew. George Kittle's the GOAT.
No, but the thing is, awesome. I think Loveland has better because Prince, something I will say, I don't think Kittle will play all 17 games. So that's why I think he'll have a better, if we're disregarding injuries, I do think if Kittle 17 games, the reason I say that, Prince, is because Purdy loves throwing into him in the red zone. And since Purdy came, he gets a lot of touchdowns, but I think he only plays probably 11 or 12 games due to his health. He is getting older. But I think if Loveland, who's younger and plays all 17 games, he can get like 10 touchdowns.
That's my own, that was my... Yeah, that was my only kickback, Drew, is that Kittle's getting older. He has missed some games over the last few seasons. So, okay, maybe he's not broken down, but he's missed some games, has he not? So there's been health issues with him. So that was my only concern, is that he might not play as many games as Colston Loveland right off the top. So, yeah. In any case, my whole point here, and thanks most for getting me all riled up, is that, with everything that Caleb Williams has been through in terms of his scouting, his perspectives and everything. We're saying he can't make a 5-10 yard throw. If that's the only thing that we're complaining about or we're nitpicking, I'm okay with that, because there's no way that that's going to be a consistent problem with this. And look, we're almost. I mean, if you said that about Mitch Trubisky, like, I would say, okay, fine. Mitch Trubisky, of course, coming out of North Carolina, he came out of nowhere. For whatever reason, we drafted him second. He couldn't even throw a screen pass. So if you said that about him, fine, I get it. But you talk about someone like Caleb Williams, nah, man. I think there's too much slander against Williams, and I'm not standing for it. I'm gonna back my Caleb Williams until he shows me that he's not worthy of being backed anymore. Oh, God, don't get me started on Trubisky. That's why Trubisky and Nagy, and the remnants of Trubisky are with Moshe now, with Nagy. Sorry, Moshe, but
I wouldn't. Yeah, I'm sorry. I really am just poking the bear right now. And to your point, like I said, Colston Loveland is third in my tight end rankings, and that has to do with his floor. I'm simply putting out there that I think that the ceiling might be slightly higher for Kittle if he stays healthy. And I thought that I'd bring in a San Francisco to get Drew's support.
Nice move. Well done. Well done. Addison, sorry, we keep over talking you. I'm sorry, Addison.
I just say I wanted to.
We're cool.
Yes, always, Drew. Me and you. We're it's me and you against most. Don't worry. He's not gonna drive a wedge between us, Drew. Thank you for all your Bear support. I love you, brother.
All right, Addison, go for it.
And put a bow on it. Brissett over 11.5 passing touchdowns for the regular season.
Yes. You know what? Let's recap our bet. I think I drove the show a little bit too long, trying to get under Prince's skin. Drew, recap us with your best bets.
Yeah, shout out to Colston Love and George Kittle. But anyways, my best bets are Jesus Lazardo over 18.5 outs at plus 125, and then for tomorrow, versus Spivak. Fight to not go the distance at minus 160, and then Day Ritter versus Stolitz or 2.5 rounds at minus 135, and then Hernandez versus Rodriguez fight to minus 150.
I am on board with all of these plays. I'm also adding Braves Brewers first 5 under 3.5 minus 160. Scotty Scheffler top 20 including ties. Hopefully you got that in because he birdied the very next hole, making the odds go way down. And then in the UFC, I'm taking Anthony Hernandez money line minus 180. All right, Prince. I apologize for getting on your skin. I absolutely love you, man. And I had the most fun over the last 15 minutes. Just getting
Third. Third. That was so much fun, dude. I am here for it, bro. You got a little first take Friday there on the OnlyBets podcast here. So I am always here for it, man. Anytime. Absolutely love it.
Hot take.
Yeah, go ahead, Drew. What were you gonna say?
I think this should be a regular
Hot take Friday. There you go. Yeah, I love it, man. I'm all for sports betting. No, I never take it personal. It's totally fun. All for fun for me. So, Drew, did you have anything else to say? I'm sorry. I think I cut you off.
Oh, no, I was saying we all love each other here.
Absolutely, no doubt. Yep, it's all love, man. It's just talking sports. We get passionate about our sports and love it. Like I said, I'm all here for the hot takes. So, but yeah, other than that, guys, let's go ahead and recap my plays. We're looking at Arsenal on a -2 handicap today in the EPL. You're going to get that at minus 115. I am also looking at Sunderland, Ipswich tomorrow on Saturday in the EPL. Both teams to score. That comes in at minus 125. And then looking at the ASEAN Cup final, we're going to take Thailand on a draw, no bet. And that comes in at plus 120. That's going to do it, guys. Podcast, a Friday edition, alongside Stern Best Drew Lucky. I'm the Prince of Big. Shout out to Addison once again for his great F1 Formula One coverage, news, and updates. We'll be back again on Monday, live at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday at OnlyBets Podcast or on Twitter/X. Have a great afternoon. Have a great weekend. Let's cash out these tickets, and we will talk to you all soon. Da Bears, bear down.